The last episode of Season 2 of The Last of Us aired May 25th, 2025, rounding out the season with a total of 7 episodes, which is 2 less than the first season. Now, this isn't exactly a review because I feel there's one thing that causes this season to feel a bit off compared to the first season. Now, I'm not saying the season was bad at all. I would actually give it an 8.5 out of 10 stars. The acting was great, visuals were A+ as usual, and the emotion was there. There are some changes I liked and there are some changes I didn't like. However, I understand that comes with the territory of an adaptation, and I don't mind it because having something be so copy and paste without any new creative input into the story could possibly lead to it feeling a bit mundane. However, this leads me to the point I want to make, which you already know if you saw the title of this video. I believe the creative risks they took possibly led to this season's pacing being way off. Now, before I get too into it, I didn't play the game firsthand. However, I did watch a walkthrough of it because honestly, that's how I was introduced to the game and the story of The Last of Us in the first place. I'm not a gamer, so I don't look for new releases from Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, etc. However, if I do see a video game that catches my attention, I fall in love with it easily. I just wanted to be transparent about that because I know some people may feel that they can't really trust an opinion given on their favorite video game's live adaptation if the person giving the opinion has not played it firsthand. But I promise the emotions hit the exact same. But let's get back on topic. So I believe this season, honestly this entire story, could have benefited from being told in chronological order. To give a quick breakdown of what I mean, let's say for example, HBO approved of the show for 4 seasons. That means season 1 stays the same. Season 2, we follow Ellie and Joel on their journey through different points in their relationship. So basically, episode 6 titled The Price, we get a whole season by itself. Season 3 would kick off the traumatic death of Joel and Ellie's journey for revenge. And then the final season would be us following Abby until we reach the end of the second game, which I'm keeping vague to avoid spoilers. This way, I feel would have benefited the story and given it a lot of breathing room and really built up that emotion even more. I also see that the creators of the television show really wanted to expand on the story and show the viewers and gamers alike more than what the video game gave. Now I know you're like, season 2 could have possibly dragged on if done that way. However, I don't believe so because that's where the creative juices could have been flowing. Show us more of Jackson because I know that the clash of the infected didn't have to be the only battle that town had to fight, and seeing how close the community is, it definitely would have shown us how they built that bond. Take that time to build on each of the characters, Dina, Jesse, Maria, and even Tommy, especially because once Joel is dead, he becomes the main guardian in Ellie's life and someone she'll really look up to now. I would even say take that time to build on Seattle, Isaac, the Wolves, and the Seraphites without showing Abby and the crew, of course, because her introduction is really important to bringing home the theme of the story of The Last of Us Part 2, so it has to be a surprise. I truly believe that if they decide to show a lot of the battle between the Wolves and the Seraphites next season, that it is going to be epic. However, imagine the build up to that battle and the viewers anticipating it, talking about it before it happens. Also, let's see more in-depthly told versions of the most vulnerable moments of Ellie growing up and her and Joel's relationship. Like when Ellie found a way to burn herself on the pot to hide her bite mark, and seeing as one of the creators for the show was also the writer and creative director for the actual video game, it would have been really cool to see what else was cooking creatively with the story. There are so many points in season 2 that hit hard emotionally, and I feel they would have hit even harder if we had spent more time with all these characters. Imagine an entire season of Ellie going on her revenge tour. We get to go even deeper into her thought process and in her mind as we go on this journey with her and see her be someone we're not used to seeing. Imagine the full season with Abby and having the viewer walk through her point of view, forcing us to ask ourselves, does bond overpower empathy and understanding? Am I willing to see the perspective of the other people in this show, or is it us, Joel, and Ellie? Forget the other side. I truly believe that doing it this way would have had a huge impact on the audience and really drove home what I believe the theme of the game was. Do I believe that people would have been flipping tables? Yes, I almost flipped my laptop when I first saw Joel's death in the game. However, let them. After finishing the walkthrough, and even though frustration was still in my heart, I understood the different perspectives of all characters in the game, though I do feel like that's easier said than done. It's easy to say how this show should have or could have gone, but there are many different variables that come into play when making an adaptation. That's why this isn't a hate rant or me saying I'm not gonna watch the other season or that I'm not looking forward to it, because I am, and I still plan on watching for sure with popcorn and all. This is just a quick opinion I wanted to give after watching the whole season and seeing that it felt a bit rushed, and I believe it could have benefited from some delayed gratification. Alright, I'm done rambling. Let me know what you think below. Do you think this season could have benefited from some more episodes or to slow down a bit? For whoever's watching this, if you do decide to comment, no hate, okay? Keep it all constructive criticism or kind words. Everything else can stay at home. Thank y'all so much for watching. Peace.